Okay, the campaigns in Portugal, 1807-1809 by Victus Magazine. Number 102, the game is the Marshals, and this is Volume 1. Uno and Soult in Portugal, and the scenario I'm playing is Soult 1809. This is a generic game system simulating campaigns led by French commanders under the Consulate and the First Empire, not including Bonaparte. Looks like it's the 10th of May, and it looks like it's the Anglo-Allied operation. So for those gamers who are concerned about this, I'll just say that this game really pauses well, meaning you can stop playing, take a break up to several days, come back with very little trouble. Yeah, and that is something that I like. So the game should, here I am coming back, here's my coming back after a few days. Something that I like to remember is there should be a dozen fatigue markers. So here's my fatigue marker, draw cup, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I have all of my fatigue markers there. Should be the Anglo-Allied side operation. So just taking a look at reviewing where I'm at. I've got Beresford, and Beresford's right here. I think Beresford's the one that, yeah, that is Beresford. Beresford's the one that was attacked or had engaged in combat with that French force there. I believe the demoralization marker goes on top like that, but it is also activated. Yeah, whatever the implications of that are. So the Anglo-Allied side, I'll look at it. We have the Hill's division there, and Hill is currently at strength 1, 2, 3, 4, and morale of 4. That's Hill there. And here we have, Wellesley. So Wellesley has not activated yet. Wellesley has the large force, 3 infantry divisions, 3 artillery units, baggage trains, and 3 cavalry. Right away, I think, actually, I'll go ahead and talk about this. I think I'm looking at this. This is reminding me that that I didn't talk about the Anglo-Allied event chit draw for this turn. Yeah, I'm remembering now. So they drew a guerrilla marker. Let's talk about that, because I don't actually remember how you play the guerrilla event chit. So guerrilla, let's see. All right, let's see, guerrilla. A zone with a guerrilla marker cannot be crossed when testing command or fatigue. Now I wonder, are they talking about this event marker? I don't actually know yet, but that's that. Oh my, that is it. So that doesn't sound right. There's got to be more than okay, there it is. Guerrilla with an accent. All right, sometimes it has an accent, sometimes it doesn't. That's going to make a difference. And sometimes it's, let's see, let me make sure I got this right. No, okay. I know. It always has 2 L's here. All right, guerrilla. This is an Anglo-Allied. Well, that makes sense. Why would the French have why would the French have a guerrilla marker in Spain like this? I guess Portugal, in the peninsula. This event chit is part of both 1808 and 1809 scenarios. It's played in Phase C. That's the operations phase. I keep talking about that. Let me tell you what I'm talking about when I say that. This is the detailed game sequence. When I talk about the phases, Phase A is initiative, Phase B is events, Phase C is operations, Phase D is administrative. So when I say phase C, we're talking about the operations, the alternating action sequences, I guess you'd say. At the beginning of an operation of the Anglo-Allied players, that might be right now. Place the marker on the map. Oh, so you do use this marker. So place the marker on the map in a zone free of all enemy and all friendly and enemy units. So let's just actually let's go ahead and play it. Let's go ahead and play it. Let's see if I can play it in this clear zone on the coast between these French forces and Oporto city there, right there, Oporto. Let's go ahead and play it there. All right, so place the marker on the map in a zone free of all friendly and enemy units. If the French stack, if a French stack penetrates this zone, the marker is removed, but the French stack must stop. It's okay, so it's, I guess it kind of eats up a stack's movement. During a retreat, if a French stack penetrates a zone occupied by a guerrilla, the marker is removed, but if the French stack contains artillery or baggage units, it must eliminate one of them of his choosing. So you sacrifice an artillery or baggage unit if you have one. A guerrilla marker placed in a zone at the edge of a connection with a destroyed bridge prevents its repair. Okay. Okay. And then it cannot be crossed when testing commander fatigue. Oh, I think that means that you can use the guerrilla marker to cut. Well, basically you're cutting lines of communication. That is good. But let's just go ahead and put that there. But the question is what? See, I don't see anything about it going away, so I guess it stays there until it's removed. Yep, let's do that. So guerrillas are active in the coastal clear area there. I like that. All right, so we did that. Otherwise, they still have, I think that's, I always forget, escape or evade might be a better translation. The duro and the engineering marker. Okay. I don't think any of these are going to come into play here. Okay. So Wellesley with the main Anglo-Allied force could move on here. See, it's just two basically clear zones, roads. That's an option. Or Hill's division comes out of Ovar city and goes after that French unit in a clear area along a path. Now, if I move Wellesley, it does not have to do a command test. Well, actually, I think Hill is going to come out of Ovar. Anglo-Allies are on the offensive here in the largest picture. I played the guerrillas behind the French unit there. And I think I want to move on the French before the French do something else here in this area. Okay, let's do that. Hill is going to move. He has this line of communication to his commander-in-chief. So I guess, so well, do this in order. So Wellesley is I'm putting Wellesley back. So this is Hill. Activate the stack through movement. This is movement, not disengagement. Verify command. So I guess we do our command check. Again, this is for how many movement points. 4 isn't bad. Command test. There is no commander there to grant a strategic value modifier. It's not all cavalry. As a matter of fact, it's infantry. But it does have a line of communication to the Army Chief of Staff, so it has +1. So it's 4 plus 1 is 5, so it has all of its MP, all of its movement allowance. Here's the track down here again. Oh yeah, I'm going to mark the number of movement points used or expended. Hill has an 8 movement allowance. Okay, so let's get started. So they passed their command test. They are ready to go. So they're going to move one area into the enemy occupied area. And to remind myself, I mean, Hill does want to attack because Hill wants to push the French back onto that area and squeeze the French here between Hill and the guerrillas. But combat is not mandatory under normal circumstances. Okay, so fatigue. They draw one random fatigue for moving a connection. Okay, they draw one fatigue. Now, what are the modifiers for the fatigue? There's no, there's no excessive strength. Again, Hill is only at strength 4, so there's nothing excessive there. Does not have a has combated marker. It does enter a zone enemy occupied. So we draw another one like that. Another 1 fatigue for a total 2 fatigue. It does have a line of communication back to back to what? The command test is back to the commander-in-chief, but I think the fatigue line is back to a line of line of supply. Let's see. No, it was. Commanders don't take fatigue, obviously. How funny. So, if that's not explained, I don't think this game calls it. No, this game does not call it supply. So what is it back to? Oh, okay. Let's see what a line of communication is. Line of communication, demoralization. Line of communication. Oh, lines of communication are defined by scenario. This is Anglo-Allied side, zones A and B. Okay, so it is the standards. So Visu, it's also labeled Zone A. It also has the standard Anglo-Allied standard there. Same over here. All right, so it is tracing back to here, which is fine, right down there. So. Yeah, so it just takes 2 fatigue all the way, altogether. Its current morale is 4, so it is fine. Okay, that's movement. Now it will force, what do we call it? Force. It will force passage. So I will, its movement points was 2. Mark that. Take the battle marker. The battle marker here. We're going to flip the units as the first step anyways. Put these guys up here just so we can see them. And I'm going to take my little track here. Oh, I guess it's both of my units because there is only one unit on each side, which means that these are the head units. I think we have cavalry withdrawal. So turn the concerned units over, potentially withdraw cavalry, attack her first. So it is, what do you call it? It's probably first there it is, an attacking or defending stack composed solely of cavalry and having an okay, again, I'm not going to worry about defining axis of retreat because there is only one for each side heading away from the battle zone. So the French cavalry does have a axis of retreat, attempts to disengage. So is it a disengagement test? So the French are rolling. Oh, 6, I think. Let's see. Better than restraining steps of the cavalry of the two stacks. Okay, so they do have more. The disengaging cavalry have more cavalry steps than the other side, which has 0. So they get to subtract 1, so it's 6 down to 5. The disengaging stack is composed entirely of cavalry, so that's minus another 1 down to 4. If the result is 3 or less, the stack can leave the zone and move normally. So they did want a low roll, otherwise it remains in the zone and is considered activated. So the French did not successfully withdraw, and they're considered activated. So I guess now we go to the combat. Determine the amplitude of combat. So Hill again is at 4 strength steps. Hussars are 1 because they're cavalry. So that's 5. So that is on the 1 to 5 column for the amplitude of combat. So it's the first column, 1 to 5. Playing event markers. I don't think... No event markers are played for this combat. There's no artillery, so there are no artillery shots. Calculate the strength ratio. Oh. Huh. Now I need to figure this out because Hill has 4 strength steps to 1 strength step of French Hussars. So is that 4 to 1 or is it different because it's cavalry? 5.6.3, where is that? Dividing by 2, those are the cavalry in a not in defensive. Oh, never mind. So artillery is not involved, and for that matter, defensive zone or town is not involved. So player with the greater total calculates the strength ratio by dividing the actual strength steps by those of the enemy stack. So I guess it is 4. I guess it is 4 for the Anglo-Allies. So I'm starting at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. The Hussars start at 0. All right. So determine the head unit. There's only 1 on each side. List other CP modifiers. So I'm going to go in order. No event markers. No artillery shots. We did the strength ratio already. Add the morale of the head unit. So Hill's morale is 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they're up to 8. Hussars is 5. It's on the marker. So they go from 0 to 5. There are no SVs of commanders involved because there are no commanders involved. There's no defensive value of the zone because it's just a normal clear zone. Which is 0. Subtract 2 if the stack has no. They both have an axis of retreat. There is no back to the river, but there is subtract 2 from the Anglo-Allies because it's a forced passage. So actually Anglo-Allies are only at 6 to the French 5. They're only 1 higher. There's no demoralization. Okay, and then we... Ooh, this is really... Huh. This is really... close, actually. So a lot's coming down to the die roll. So Hill has a current combat strength of 6, adding a die roll of 5 is 11. Yeah, this is a lot's coming down to a die roll. And the French have 4. They're at 5, so they have 9. So there's a difference of 2 in favor of the Anglo-Allied side. So roll 1d6 for each stack. Determine the CP. I did that. Resolve the melee. So the difference is 2. So I'm cross-referencing a difference of 2 for an amplitude of 5 for 0, 0. 0, 0. It's just nothing. So I think that's what that means. And then they would stay there. Yeah, as far as I know, that's it. So inconclusive. So take the battle marker. Oops. Okay, so all right, so I'm going to put the French back, but we know in the combat they were in the process activated. I don't think they were activated before. So I'm inverting him, or yeah, inverting, putting him back, but the but Hill is here too. I guess Hill's also activated now. He's still in the same area. Now I wonder, he's only expended 2 MPs to enter there. So he still has, 6 MP. Does he, what does he do? Does he, I wonder, let me see, moves, force passage. In this case, combat must be resolved. The operation. After the combat, the stack receives a has combated marker, which is immediately converts to fatigue if it is the winner. Is there a winner? Okay, for a 0 difference, each player loses the number of strength steps indicated, and there is no winner. Still looks like just a plain null result. I think they both get a has combated marker. I think. It continues movement normally. The movement and fatigue points added to those prior to the combat. Oh, so the two fatigue that I should not have tossed that actually in the cup quite yet. But I'm not going to move again. I'm just going to stay there and battle again. So I guess Hill could move on, I guess, and try to force a passage here, except that he wasn't a winner. So what happens if he's not a winner? He tried to force passage, but he was not a winner.